So let's work out a formula. If I have the number 1, in binary, its value is going to be 1. I can add to that 1 with either a 0 or a 1 to make it a larger number. If I add a 0, the value becomes 2. If I add a 1, the value becomes 3. If I have the 1, 0, I can either add a 0 or a 1. If I add a 0, the value becomes 4. If I add a 1, the value becomes 5. If I have 1, 1, I can either add a 0 or a 1. If I add a 0, the value becomes 6. If I add a 1, the value becomes 7. Now this will continue on, adding zeros or ones with each leg. So if I add 1, 0, 0, add another 0, it becomes 8. If I add a 1, it becomes a 9. If I have 1, 0, 1, I can add a 0, it becomes 10, or I can add a 1, and it becomes 11. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern emerge here. If I have 1, 1, 0, I can add a 0, and the value becomes 12. I can add a 1, and the value becomes 13. If I have 1, 1, 1, and I add a 0, it will become 14, and if I have 1, 1, 1, and a 1, it becomes 15. So if I start with 1 and I add a 0, I get 2, which is double the 1. If I have 1, 0, and add a 0, I get 4, which is double the 2. If I have 1, 0, 0, which is 4, and add a 0, I get 8, which is double the 4. So my formula is, if I add a 0 to any binary number, the new number I create is whatever the binary number was, which we'll call x, multiplied by 2. In other words, doubled every time I add a 0 to it. Now, if I add a 1 to a binary number, so 1, 1 will become 3, which is double the 1 plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. If I have 1, 1, 1, it becomes 7, which is double the 3 plus 1. If I have 1, 1, 1, and I add a 1, I get 15, which is double the 7 plus 1. So if I add a 1, the formula is x, which is my number, multiplied by 2 plus 1. Now this works with any combination of zeros and ones, so I can add a 0 to 1, 1. 1, 1's 3. If I add a 0, I get 6, which is double the 3. It just works. And we can use that formula when we are trying to convert between binary and decimal using a microbit, which is what we're going to do next.